First of all, thank you and welcome to this current unscripted version of the episode. My name is Sridhar Hoskote. We'll be talking about an exciting portal that we have developed for customer experience. And today I'm joined with Saumitra, who is a senior solution architect at Inspirage. And as far as myself, I'm in charge of the solutions development within Inspirage and intellectual property management and so on and so forth. So we'll take a few minutes of your time today to go through our exciting solution. With that said, Saumitra, let me start by asking a few general questions about the solution. It looks like it's a very unique solution that we've developed for the industry, and it's definitely unique. And Portal is definitely looks different from what I've seen in the past in the industry. It one of the points that I'd like to make is it's like a looks like a unique combination of capabilities that combines both the regular sales, the front end sales, if you will, and aftermarket sales. That is a unique combination that I've seen. I would let you comment on that, Saumitra, to see what you want to add to that, and we can dive into some of the details.
Hi, Sridhar. Yes, in fact, I'm also quite excited in with this session and discussing the portal capabilities. Um, it's a unified experience to the customer for both sales and services. Typically, what we see is that customers deploy different portals for different functionalities, and that's how also Oracle has its offering as well. However, what we have built is a single unified experience for the customers, a modular portal wherein they can log in and interact um, with the companies they're dealing with in all the functional areas on a single platform. So when it starts for example, for getting initial components or machines, which is the sales side of it, getting the quotations and ordering for those parts, that's there on the portal. And after sale components like checking their install base, checking their warranties contracts, and raising service requests against the faulty components. Um, it, and it's just not that. It is also functionalities like sharing the documentation with the customers, whether it's part related documentation or whether it is general documentation like customer bulletins or product bulletins. Everything is on a single platform. In addition to these, there are functionalities like sales agreement call offs and checking the order and shipping status, which is across both sales and aftermarket. So it's 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 a one-stop shop for them to interact with the companies.
That's very good. I think the capabilities are very exhaustive and very appropriate for certain segment of the industry segments. I was just wondering if you could comment on what industry segment is the most appropriate. I know we have seen a plethora of customer portals out there. Some of them
Mhm.
are well made for certain industry segments versus so some of them are not well made for certain industry segments. This seems to
Mhm.
be quite generic in nature. At the same time, I think we've made it work for a couple of industry segments already. And
Yeah.
if you can comment on what is the most appropriate industry segment that will benefit from this portal and future of this particular solution, that would be helpful for us to kind of um, go through the whole solution, Saumitra.
Yeah, although the initial deployment for this portal has been for a high-tech manufacturing equipment manufacturing company, that was the first use case. However, the portal is so generic in nature that any company, typically, I would say it's made for the B2B environment rather than a consumer centric environment. So any industry is having a B2B component where their customers are also large corporates rather than individual customers. Um, that is where I would say that this is built for or positioned for. And in terms of industry segments, any industry having products which are having warranties and contracts from aftermarket perspective is a good candidate. But because the portal is built in a modular fashion, it's not that all the modules have to be used for by any industry. So depending on which modules are relevant, it can be deployed in that fashion. So that's why I mean it is flexible to suit any kind of industry. But typically, I would say in a B2B environment.
That's very good to know. I know the solution is built on a generic platform, and it's very flexible, and it caters to certain industry segments more than others. But the one of the some of the things that struck me with this portal solution and portal experience is a 360 degrees view, if you will, of a person who is interacting with the system, right from the quoting capability that you have, that is interwoven with the install base, and the capability to check the parts, check the codes, download a bunch of documents and check the credentials, and convert into an order in a very easy fashion is something which is pretty unique. I think if you can probably just add a bit about what do you think about this 360 degrees view um, of the customer experience when people try to deal with, because we have what we have seen in the industry so far is people struggle with the fact that the coding is a separate system, install base is a separate system, interaction with
Mhm.
the order management system itself is a totally different experience. You seem to have taken a different view of that. You seem to have taken view of that it needs to be a holistic experience. If somebody comes and does their work in terms of
Yeah,
coding, getting an order, getting information about the install base, and so on and so forth, right?
yeah.
Can you comment on what drove you towards that, and what is the what is the reason why we did that? Now, obviously, the results are amazing,
Yeah.
but wondering what your thoughts were.
So there are I would say there are two three aspects to this. The first aspect is that for depending on which customers are we dealing with, if a customer has a person who deals in, for example, all subject areas, so they are responsible for checking their machines, what parts are faulty, what they need to order, see, check the drawings, interact with a customer who has implemented this portal. For them to toggle around various systems to get the information that need is not a very efficient process. So for them, it is quite useful to come on a single platform, check everything, and start interacting with the company they will want to deal with. The second aspect is from the company's perspective who is implementing this portal. It makes sense to have a single platform because it reduces their IT costs as well. For them, the maintenance of a single portal, the technologies involved, the skill set involved within their IT teams is like they can just compartmentalize the skill set required, and that's how they can reduce their IT cost. And third thing is that for large corporates who are the customers who will be using this portal, wherein certain people, for example, procurement guys might be just interested in doing quotation and ordering, whereas a service engineer would be interested in checking, okay, what's my machine's warranty, and raising some service request for logistics of a field service. Even for them, they have to still go to a couple of subject areas to get their work done. So even for such customers, it makes sense to have a platform where they can deal with, instead of going to multiple platforms.
Yeah, it looks like we have done a very nice job in assimilating all the disparate systems where the information resides, and make that a holistic experience when whether people are taking orders, checking on install base, checking on credentials, checking on all the entitlements and so on and so forth. But at the same time, the other end of the spectrum, wherein once the sale is made, if you have something wrong with the system that the companies have sold as if you're an OEM, you would have a complete unified experience in looking for service, right? You can open up a
Mhm.
service request, very easily track all of this information that you want, and get the logistical support that you want, whether you're returning the product or getting the work done on the depot repair side, and so on and so forth, right? So that essentially adds to the capability that you come up with. In your opinion, what is the kind of benefits that you see from the portal at this point, at a higher level to begin with, and at a granular level for somebody who's interacting with it day in and day out? If you could start with, probably at a high level, as to what this is, what benefits do you see from the unified portal such as this one, and then also from a pure user experience perspective, what is it that we can look forward to in this solution?
Okay, so I'll start with the companies who will be using or implementing this portal. Uh, for them, uh, because they will be moving some part of their internal operations to a portal which will be self-service for the customers, um, it will be reducing the team strength, or maybe the manpower that is required to process those, because now customers will be doing a self-service. So to give you an example, um, companies will have typically have a large customer service teams to process any service request logged by the customers, and then triage them and move it to either logistics or field service by referring to them. Now, in this particular case, on a portal where customer is logging themselves their service request, in the portal we have built certain automations which will check the entitlements, and if it is covered by any warranty or a contract, for example, it will directly route to the logistics or to the field service team without companies needing to invest in large customer service team. So that's one example, or I would say one of the benefits for the clients who are deploying this customer portal for their customers. On the other side, for the customers, um, it I mean it gives them the entire breadth of the information that they need, and a platform where they can start interacting um, with their supplier, for this example, starting from initial quote and ordering, as well as they might be having large spare contracts, for example, which are sales agreements. They can real time do their call offs against those sales agreements, um, and then because it's a seamless integration with the underlying ERP module, it's a real time information exchange between the portal and the system. So that will reduce any shortcomings of data getting lost in some kind of processing, because the status updates are happening real time. Uh, these are few examples I can talk about. But was there anything specific that you were looking for, Sridhar?
For most part, you covered the benefits out of it, in terms of efficiently taking an order, taking a service request, taking it through the life cycle. Some of the benefits that you would get is like a 360 degrees view that we've talked about, and from a pure um, customer, user experience perspective, and not to go and be involved with going and picking up information from 100 different places. You got it all unified. That's all good. But I think I was also stuck with the fact that the last point that he made, right? Even though you build this particular beautiful solution, it's still on this Oracle based product capabilities in terms of the data model and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. So that essentially means that you're now never too far away from the ERP information that Oracle ERP cloud holds, and it's all unified.
Yeah.
If you want to just maybe comment on the last point about the Oracle, um, Oracle's, how is it how is it working in complement with Oracle products rather than just be an island by itself,
Yeah.
right? That'll be good.
Yeah. Of course. The portal in itself doesn't have its own large set of functionalities. It is built on top of what is available in Oracle SaaS modules. Um, for example, the quotation and ordering is directly linked to CPQ. It doesn't create a quote on its own. It's real time information exchange between CPQ and portal. The quote is created in CPQ and presented on the portal to the customer. So there are no two separate transaction number for quotation. The same thing applies for service request. The customer logs into the portal, they create a service request. That service request number is directly created in B2B service and not in the portal. So portal is just acting as a front end to the already existing ERP and with minimal data replication. Um, Same is true, for example, sales agreement modules where yeah, it's getting a real-time information from CPQ and doing the releases there. Install base and warranty is already existing in the install base and subscription modules within ERP, and that information is shown on the portal. It's not a different system on its own. It's not just a replication of data. It's real-time information exchange over and above what Oracle SaaS modules cater for.
Summarizing that particular part of it, essentially, the base platform still remains Oracle in terms of the data model and so on and so forth, because it's all tied at the hips, if you will, with the Oracle ERP cloud system. But what we have come up with is as an excellent platform where people can come and interact with any customer for the OEMs that we sell our products to, can come and interact on this portal, whether it's the question of simply looking at an install base, simply looking at some information, or even get a quote of the system or get a service request out of the system. It's like a one-stop shop for anything and everything that a customer wants to interact with in the OEM from a against the OEM system. Would you agree with that summarization, Saumitra?
Yeah, absolutely. And just I'd like to add a few more points. So we are talking about OEMs, but many of the OEMs subcontract their operations to other company, and typically in high tech manufacturing they're called OSATs. And because they're subcontracting their work, they want their OSATs also to come on the platform and look at information and create transactions. So the data model in the portal is built in such a fashion that either it's your sold to customer, which is OEM, or your ship to customer, which might be an OEM or which might be a subcontractor, can log in and start interacting with the company who has implemented the portal. So, so it's multiple layer of customers who can make use of the portal.
Excellent point. I think we have touched upon the capabilities, and at a high level, we have touched upon the what this exciting portal solution that we come up with. We are looking forward to deploying that in many companies to come forward. I think we've already been very successful. Thank you for all the information, Saumitra.